Waiting for you.
Yeah, so we're in the kitchen. We're with Chef Nate, executive chef of the Skyline Club, and you've kind of got some stuff really ready to go for the tournament here, right?
We do, yeah. We've got a lot of things going on at the club right now. It's really a pretty exciting time. You know, we've kicked off the new year with, you know, Valentine's Day and some of the other things, and now we're rolling into March with the tournament. And you know, one of the things that we wanted to kind of talk about, we're gonna do a fun little dish here in a minute. We've got a couple of them today, but one thing we wanted to talk about is our Club Eats program. So Club Eats is something that, you know, Club Corps is doing nationally with all the clubs, and essentially it's, you know, that comfort food to go. But I think people sometimes forget that, yeah, we are a restaurant up at the top, but
yes,
we can get stuff to go too. So,
and
you know, and some of the things in this box, like we featured for the tournament, it's wings, it's meatballs, it's pretzel bites, guacamole, salsa.
It's the perfect stuff for the games. And what's nice is a lot of people maybe are used to going either out for the games and they're going to be in. Obviously, we're still dealing with some different stuff. So if you're wanting to stay in, you're not maybe feeling like you can go out, this is a great option.
Exactly.
For you.
Yeah. So, you know, it's something we're doing, and we've got, you know, lots of other things going on in-house with the club. You know, we've got oyster night coming up, we've got a bourbon tasting, and one of the new things now we're doing, which is kind of how I decided what I was going to cook today, is we call it Tasting at the Top. So it started now 2 weeks ago. It's every Saturday, and we're going to feature the full menu that we already have, but we're going to be doing a 6-course chef's tasting menu.
Oh,
so myself,
terrible.
I know, right?
So rough.
So,
you hear this 6-course tasting?
Yeah. So my executive Sue, Brian, and myself, we kind of come up with this menu, you know, Thursday, Friday, and we just have fun and play and do a lot of different things. So, you know, this one right here, I'll tell you all the components, and I guess it's kind of derived off of maybe like a lobster BLT or something, but it's a little different than that.
Right. Lobster BLT.
Maybe a little bit,
next
right?
Level. What we got going on here, Chef?
So the first thing we do is, you know, we have lobster on the menu, and it's actually quite popular. We sell a lot of them, and one of the things we do here is we take butter and we infuse popcorn into it. So it actually flavors the butter with popcorn, almost like the movie theater, and then we poach the lobster in that butter. So all we've done is just warm that up in the butter, and then to kind of go in with all our little components here. So we have this right here is a tomato jam that we do. It's basically just tomatoes cooked down with a little bit of sugar and vinegar. Very simple. And then we have right here, this is a little corn relish that we do in-house. So we char that corn, roast the peppers, all the typical flavors that you'd think of or that you'd get. And then the real fun ingredient that I'm going to talk about in a minute, because you said about the peanut butter, is this maltodextrin that we make bacon powder out of.
Yeah, this is bacon powder. That's right. I mean, this is awesome. You're telling me about this before the show.
Yeah, so this is the lobster itself. Like I said, we just basically warm it up all the way through so it's nice and warm. And again, this is a tasting menu, so everything's kind of small. You know, we want them to be all nice little bite-sized pieces. Do the lobster on there. And then this powder, so you were talking about peanut butter, you can do it with peanut butter, you can do it with olive oil, you can do it with anything. And it's basically this starch that absorbs any kind of a fat, and we just sprinkle it on top, and when you eat it, it actually melts
just
with the
melts
warmth
away.
of your mouth. Yeah. And then we take these little fingerling potato chips. These are nothing more than just a little bit of a crunch. Fancy French fries, maybe, I guess you would say.
Well, this whole thing, I mean, this is the fanciest BLT I've ever seen.
It's a fancy BLT, right? And then a little bit of greens on top. So that's kind of the idea of it, is that you start with that and then you roll into the next course. It gives you a bunch of little bites along the way. But, you know, as I always say when I talk about us, we're many things under one roof, you know, with fancy tasting menus, meatballs and pretzel bites to go. There's a little bit of everything at our club.
Yeah, I mean, this is great because you can go really traditional. You've got your wings, meatballs, pretzel bites, and then you're going into this lobster BLT, as you said.
Yeah.
With that. What did you say that was again?
With the bacon powder?
The bacon powder. Yeah, bacon powder that's going to just, you know, caress over your tongue as it melts and really, you know, knock this out of the park. So thank you. It seems like you guys have just a ton going on.
We do,
and
yeah.
So, you know, really appreciate you coming. We've got stuff in the second hour.
We
too,
do,
right?
yeah. We got some cool stuff coming up, yeah.
Well, Mackenzie, what are you thinking?
I can't wait for that. I'll be in the kitchen. I can't wait for part 2. It looks delicious. Thank you.